Well, we've got details of these and many more coming up in the next 20 minutes. If you spend your time with me, remember, we're live on DSTV channel 279 and also get interactive with us. Go onto our social media platform, particularly Facebook, because we are live at 3news.com. And now let's settle for the details of the stories. High cost of living is a major issue of concern to Ghanaians ahead of the budget presentation. Businesses have already urged government to review key tax handles said to be making their operations difficult. Some Ghanaians have been sharing their views with us on the need for government to improve living standards. Take a listen.
I feel the president and the finance minister should talk more about the income in this country, you understand? Sometimes we the youth, we really suffer a lot. There are no jobs in the country. Everything is in shambles, you understand? So I just feel they should talk more about the employment and everything in the country. That would be something I would be really expecting to hear from the finance minister.
Right now, we are into a hardship. Let me say something like that. We're into an economic hardship. So to me, I would say it should bring a nice budget which will help the country out for this kind of economic hardship we are into. So to me, that's what I would say.
So can you pinpoint some of the hardships you are experiencing as
Wow, hardship right now. I'm into a construction work, and due to transportation, you can see me, I'm walking on the street, which I'm supposed to use a car. But because of transportation, I have to walk from Accra there to Spintex. Wow. Yeah. So that's one hardship. And many more. I can't even say them because you should understand. Yeah. So our transportation and food and water bill, light bills, then they are all into this kind of hardship.
The prices of goods these days, they are serious. And then we wish the government can do something about it for us. Looking at commodities like foods and clothing, it's serious. Me, for instance, I really like kosia and moko, and then you can buy egg for 5 cedis. It's outrageous.
As for me, for that mindset, I don't want to hear his name self, because in Ghana, the way Ghana is going, the way our economy is going, Master, for the youth, you are suffering too much, so I don't want to hear that man name himself. So,
if you say that man, who specifically are you referring to?
The finance minister of Kenofoliata. No work. So always budget, and that's kind of thing. You don't want it, so I don't want to.
Well, let's know your expectations of the budget expected to be read tomorrow by the finance minister in Parliament. And Trust TV3 too will bring you all the updates here on TV3. And our meeting between government and organised labour on salary increment has ended inconclusively. Labour is demanding more than 30% salary increment, which government is yet to accept.
Well, at our last meeting, it was 30%.
Very, very grateful, but we are not able to disclose any figures and counter figures as of now. What we have done is that we have been engaging each other. We were not able to reach an agreement today. We are hopeful that hopefully tomorrow we should be able to reach an agreement. Just be patient with us. Once we are through with this exercise, you will get to know the outcome.
Obviously, we are going for about 32 or 35%.
It's going to be something very good.
What is something very good, as that mean?
Well, your guess is as good as mine. So our people should be relaxed. We are negotiating for them. Everything will be okay. Thank you very much.
My final question to you, Doc.
Yeah.
Looking at your judgment on the minimum wage, does that serve as a base for the base pay negotiation? Because we are hearing about 45%. Is this something that you are going higher or within the 45%?
Of course, yes. The minimum wage is a guide to the base pay. So it's going to the minimum wage is going to determine the base pay.
So obviously, then labor is starting on 45%.
I don't know what the minimum wage is.
Son, are you getting something better for labor?
No, definitely negotiations should come up with something better. So we are expecting something better for labor and for government itself.
So 30% more than that?
I don't want to talk about percentage. Last year we had 30%. Last year we had 30%. Exactly. And this is negotiations. And you know that if you say better, what do you mean? What is your understanding of better?
Improvement on the 30%.
Improvement on the 30%. Exactly. Let's see how it goes, please. Let's see how it goes.
What figures have government been tabled so far?
Oh my, Dan. I say let's move on. Let's move on tomorrow. You will get to know where we get to tomorrow when we meet.
In more news this morning, the National Security Minister has justified the recent military operation at Garo and Timpani in the Upper East region. One person died with several others hospitalized after the security officers brutalized the residents, claiming they were rather attacked by the locals.
Early on, the Garu and the Zebela MP called out the Deputy Majority Leader Alexander Penyomakin over abuse of parliamentary procedure. After some exchanges on whether the minister should speak, he finally took the podium.
The House will agree with me that the attack on the national security personnel and also the Garu police station was reprehensible and must be condemned in no uncertain terms. Mr. Speaker, in many other jurisdictions, such attacks on security personnel in the course of their legitimate duties would be classified as an attack on the state.
The minister said the case is before court and will be fully prosecuted.
Mr. Speaker, in the aftermath of the joint operation, reports have emerged in respect of some excesses by the personnel who conducted the operation. Mr. Speaker, this aspect of the matter is currently before the court. It would therefore be inappropriate for me to comment on the matter as it would amount to contempt of court.
Moments after the address, the three MPs with the ranking member on the Defense and Interior Committee, James Agalga, condemned the collective punishment from the military to the civilians.
So you suspect that an individual or a group of individuals have committed a crime. Then you decide that you're going to subject an entire village, an entire district, two districts to torture, inhumane treatment. That is the notion of collective punishment. That notion has become very archaic and has no place under a constitutional dispensation such as ours.
Meanwhile, the members of parliament for Garo and Zebela have dismissed the statement made by the National Security Minister, Albert Kandapa, on the brutalities dished out to their constituents. They say the minister should have rather apologized to the residents in the affected communities instead of justifying the acts of the security operatives. MP for Garo, Albert Azazuga, says the minister got it wrong, while Cletus of Zebela wants compensation for the victims.
The National Security Minister, Honorable Albert Kandapa, was very, very economical with the facts and the truth of the matter. His statement was very short and did not address the aspects of the issue at stake. Many of them are still in various hospitals in Garo and Boku. Today, as we talk, some of them they are still languishing in the health centers. Some of them are so maimed that they cannot do the work, particularly the physical work of farming that they do in the area. Why? A small boy, 6-year-old boy, who is it the assemblyman's son or so, was also beaten. Did he also mount an attack on them? Women were whipped here and there. Did they also mount an attack on them? It was a culture of impunity that they undertook that night.
I was expecting the minister to show some kind of empathy, to show some kind of remorse, to show some kind of, use certain words that seek to console or to let the people that, yes, the military, what they did, we are sorry about it. What the minister did on Parliament today was to justify. It was like rationalize the district in the movie.
Well, if you just tuned in, you're watching the first news bulletin of the day on TV3. In more news this morning, the Speaker of Parliament has cautioned Ghanaians against wiping out tribal sentiment and religious divisions as the country prepares for the 2024 general elections. According to Alban Bagbin, the country needs a peaceful environment in which people can freely practice their beliefs and practices without fear of persecutions. He spoke at an event to launch the Ghana Parliamentary Caucus on freedom of religion or belief in Accra.
Despite the diversity and existence of different sects and religious bodies, Ghana continues to enjoy peaceful coexistence among citizens, one that is admired by many countries. But following the election of Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia as flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party against John Dramani Mahama of the National Democratic Congress, some activists and commentators have made religious affiliation a yardstick for victory. This, the Speaker of Parliament believes, must not be entertained, adding that Ghanaians must learn to accept one another's beliefs and practices for a national growth.
Ghanaians must learn to appreciate and embrace the choices that define others' theological systems, principles, and precepts. Freedom of religion or belief is a fundamental human right that we must cherish and honor.
Citing the Israel-Hamas war, Alban Bagbin urged Ghanaians to continue to nurture peace with love, unity and tolerance, while urging other countries to emulate Ghana's example.
The coexistence between Christians and Muslims in Ghana is truly remarkable. Actually, it's not only Christians and Muslims, but the Abrahamic religion. This is what we are calling for. If we had this, the Middle East would not be in turmoil.
There are a number of times that politicians and even electorate in general play the religious and tribal cards during elections especially. Now, participants and members of this caucus agree if such situation is allowed to fester, it would only create tension and have dire consequences on the democratic credentials, peace and stability of the country.
It's very, very worrying. I think we should be more concerned about who can lead us and change our circumstances than, the religion to which that person belongs. At the end of the day, we are all Ghanaians, and what we want is development. Somebody who is Muslim, somebody who is Christian, those are all irrelevant. I think what is relevant is to have a competent Ghanaian to lead us.
Politicians who play the religious and tribal cards should be told that we are in the 21st century. They have to stop that. They have to quit that. You know what I mean? And if somebody is a Muslim, somebody is a Christian, and so what?
Christian Yali, TV3 News, Accra.
Meanwhile, political scientist with the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Dr. Kwesi Amachi-Boateng says there are no threats to Ghana's democracy following the religious cards being played by both the MPP and the NDC. He, however, calls for circumspection in comments about Ghana's religious tolerance. Take a listen.
Society becomes a little they begin to sit on edge when we become confronted with change. You know, we are not comfortable with change. This is the first time NPP, and I like to believe that Ghana is coming up with a Muslim leader who has the potential to become the president of Ghana. There might have been other Muslim leaders for the other political parties, but if you like, the chances of those people becoming the president weren't as notable as that of Dr. Bawumia. And so all of a sudden, we've all become conscious of something. Hey, we're going to have a Muslim president. We're going to have a Muslim president. But that is normal. It gives us our identity. It's one of the elements that gives us our identity. Regionalism, ethnicity, they all help give us our identities. We come from a particular part of the country. We speak a particular local language. We worship in a particular fashion. These are to be taken for granted. But then, when they assume a particular position in society, and if you like, it is going to become a novelty, then we become a little apprehensive.
Vetting will commence later today for the New Patriotic Party parliamentary aspirant in offering constituencies. The exercise will take place before designated committees at the regional capitals. The exercise, which is expected to end on Thursday, November 16, will exclude Boko Central, Yilo Krobo, Akachi North, Fomena, Ketu North, and Jomro, which are orphan constituencies but exempted for various reasons. After vetting and approval, the parliamentary primary in the orphan constituencies will be held on 2nd December. Well, let's know what you make of stories that have been aired so far. Go into our social media platform, particularly Facebook, TV3 Ghana. We are live. Engage us with your comment and opinions. Now, the Ghana Medical Association has called for free healthcare for healthcare workers, and the association, in a communique, is also asking for adequate compensation and security of their pensions due to the hazards they face in their line of duty. This communique was issued at the end of their 65th annual conference in Takoradi in the Western region.
The 3-point communique, read by the president of the Ghana Medical Association, Dr. Frank Sribo, at a media briefing in Takoradi, made demands for the health of health workers, optimizing their mental well-being and changing the designation of medical doctors and dental surgeons from January 2024. Health workers, especially doctors in Ghana, continue to leave the country in search of better working conditions. Dr. Sribo noted that doctors want free health care, adequate compensation, and their pensions secured. They also want adequate logistics and enabling working environment.
Health workers have to be compensated adequately for all the hazards we face, and then our pensions also secured. Adequate logistics, including the environment in which we work, needs to be protected so that as health workers, we can heal ourselves and also have the mental and physical well-being to be able to heal the population.
On the change of designation, Dr. Sribo stated that effective January 2024, medical doctors will be using the prefix DR Med, whilst dental surgeons use DR Dent. According to him, their decision is to ensure the safety of the patients.
Medical doctors would now be Dr. Med. Dental surgeons will be Dr. Dent. All medical doctors and dental surgeons are advised to take steps to amend their titles, name tags, and practitioner stamps to reflect the new designation.
The 65th annual conference of the GMA was premised on advancing universal health coverage. Who cares for the health worker?
In more news this morning, family of the late Victoria Adapa, who was murdered at a dome in the Ashanti region, are worried over the strike by jurors and the fear the continuous absence of the jurors will unduly prolong the case.
It could best be described as no-show in court when the case involving a police officer accused of killing his girlfriend was called here at the Kumasi High Court. Although the accused, the state and the defense counsels were present in court, the case had to be adjourned due to the absence of the jurors. The jurors are on strike over unpaid allowance since March 2022. Family of the late Majwa appear unhappy with the development as they fear this may delay the case. Nanado Berima is the family head.
Ni said the near dear Nenka assembly best starting. Now to do for our strike, Yentin Bianca, a hard journey, a Busiana higher power. We are trying to tell the Jews to help us to squeeze themselves to come and help the family, because sometimes it can go to your way, it can go to the other way. And at the same time, we are telling the government to, help the Jews to do whatever they want, so that they can return to court and help the needy.
Inspector Ahmed Chumesi was arrested in April 2023 after he shot his girlfriend multiple times, leading to a death. He will reappear in court on December 4. However, until the jurors resume their services, the case will continue to be adjourned. In a related development, family of the Missing Lands Commission staff, Rodlin Amwa, has placed 100,000 Ghana cedis bounty for information that will lead to a whereabout. The 32-year-old senior lands administrative officer has been missing since 2021. Her husband, Dr. Oberforce Agri, a lecturer at the Petroleum Department of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, who is accused of kidnapping his wife, is on trial at the Kumasi High Court. A third witness was cross-examined by the Defense Counsel on Monday, November 13, and the process is expected to be completed in the next agenda date, December 12, 2023. Cecilia Obenewa Apia is the mother of Rodalyn.
All these bureaucracies that are going on is not bringing my daughter. I need my daughter. That is the bottom line. The bottom line is that I need Rhoda. That is why I have appealed, and I continually appeal to all Ghanaians. That's why we have put 100,000 Ghana cedis on Rhoda, that whoever finds her or whoever has knowledge or whoever knows where she has been kept, please, I am on my knees. It's my daughter I need. It's my daughter I need. It has been 2 years and over. It's not easy.
Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Kumasi.
A very sad one there, and on that note, we end the morning news. For more news updates, just log on to our website, it's 3news.com. Thanks for watching. It's always a pleasure coming here. Before I part company, I would like to wish Godwin Asedeba happy birthday. May God wish you bless you. Have a good morning.